Are we live? It looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Asylum. I'm your host, Gabriel. I hope everyone had an incredible day. Today was a very good day, and I hope everyone does the same as well. And I want to address Paul Heyman, a mastermind, a absolute mastermind. Now, in case you haven't known, I did like a little rant on Bruce Pritchard and how terrible of a job he is, terrible job he's doing on the Raw side of things. But on SmackDown, it's a completely different story. Hell, it's the best WWE show right now and one of the best wrestling shows right now because Paul Heyman is doing everything right about this show. Like every single week, SmackDown is getting better and better and better. And this needs to be addressed. Paul Heyman should be in charge of both Raw and SmackDown. He should be in charge creatively for both Raw and SmackDown. And without Vince having the final word. Paul Heyman should have the final word. Okay? Like Paul Heyman has done such a great job with SmackDown. Last Friday was one of the best SmackDowns I have ever seen. A lot of people praised it as like one of the best SmackDowns ever. Okay? Now, there's like one or two things that I didn't like, but it was small. Okay? But like even then, like everything was so right about that show last Friday. So much positive came out of that. It was just so well done. And who is the mastermind behind all this? Paul Heyman. This man is a freaking he was a genius then and he is still a genius now. Like just last Friday. That is the type of show that we should be getting every single week. Like just by last Friday alone, Nakamura is doing a great job. Cesaro is like on a roll. Like Apollo Cruz is turning into a main player. Like okay, let me tell you, everyone in the SmackDown roster that is doing extremely well because Paul Heyman is in charge. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, Carmella, Apollo Crews, Big E Langston, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, Daniel Bryan. Hell, the list goes on and on and on. Hell, Billy Kay is like entertaining as hell. She may have a small role, but she's entertaining as hell. Hell, I actually kind of enjoy Rey Mysterio and King Corbin a little bit. Now, it doesn't mean that I still love King Corbin. I still think he's boring as hell. But even with that matchup, it still gives something to look forward to next week. Like, what did Rey Mysterio mean? Like, to help Dominic Mysterio out to help him out. I'm kind of intrigued by that. Like, the amount of careers that Paul Heyman saved on SmackDown is incredible. Is incredible. It really goes to show that Paul Heyman still got it. It goes to show that Paul Heyman it is a certified Hall of Famer, not because of his wrestling talents, but it's because of his genius, of his brain, and because he knows the wrestling business and he knows how to make superstars and he knows how to make storylines and he knows how to make people interested in the show. And even before SmackDown, 2020, early 2020, when Paul Heyman was in charge on Monday Night Raw. Raw was not perfect, but it was getting better and better. We were seeing Aleister Black, Andrade, Apollo Crews, most of these wrestlers on the rise before Bruce Pritchard came in and ruined everything. And we can go as back as SmackDown 2002. SmackDown was legendary back in 2002. We had people like Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, Edge, Rey Mysterio. Those were the SmackDown six. And like even like SmackDown was so legendary back in 2006. Hell, ECW. Like if Paul Heyman was not in charge of ECW, then ECW wouldn't be as big as it is today. But because he is such a mastermind, we were able to get super wrestlers like Tommy Dreamer, Raven, the Sandman, Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn, like C.B. Richards and the BWO. Who else? Lance Storm, Shane Douglas, Bam Bam Bigelow, Taz, like all these ECW legends, and people like Psychosis, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, all these wrestlers being showcased. The Dudley Boys, like all these wrestlers. And if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, then these people would probably be nobody. We wouldn't know who a Tommy Dreamer was, or a Raven, or a Sandman, or a Rob Van Dam, or a Jerry Lynn, or a Lance Storm, or a Taz, or an FBI, or none of that. We wouldn't known these people. These people would probably be nobodies if it wasn't for Paul Heyman. But because Paul Heyman was such a freaking genius, those people became superstars. Sabu's another big one. Like Paul Heyman did such a great job. Like every show Paul Heyman is on, like the show literally turns to gold. Not immediately, but gradually turns into gold. First with ECW, then with SmackDown in 2002, then Raw in 2020, then with SmackDown right now. Like so many superstars are getting rejuvenated. Like I said, Reigns, Cruz, Owens, Nakamura, Cesaro, Bianca, Bailey, Sasha, Carmella, Sami Zayn, Big E Langston. All these wrestlers, most of these careers are getting rejuvenated gradually, normally, naturally, as it's supposed to be. And these storylines are so complex and so great. What's going on with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens is awesome. What they're doing with Big E and Apollo Crews is awesome. What they're doing with Nakamura and Cesaro is awesome. What they did with the gauntlet match last week was awesome. And everyone in the show has a purpose. Whether it be big or whether it be small. Everyone has an important role in the show. And that's the way it should be. Everyone, if we're seeing a wrestler, we should have a reason for them being there. And last Friday was a big example of that. Everyone in that show had importance. Okay, some of it may have been big, like Roman, Owens, Nakamura, Cesaro, but even small importance, like the Street Profits, Billy Kay, the Riot Squad. Yeah, they had small roles, but they still had important roles nevertheless, which is amazing. It makes me appreciate Paul Heyman's work even more. The fact that many superstars are getting they're getting their careers saved because of Paul Heyman. The fact that we're getting more complex storylines. The fact, and the other thing is, Paul Heyman doesn't treat us like idiots like Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard does. They leave us, Paul Heyman leaves us thinking, and with every show And even though last Friday's show was not perfect, like it really makes me wonder what's gonna happen next week, which makes me want to watch SmackDown next week. Like, and we don't forget we had great matches like Sami Zayn versus Apollo Crews, Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jay Uso. Like with some of these matches, if Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard was in charge, we wouldn't have these type of matches on SmackDown. But because Paul Heyman is in charge of SmackDown, the fact that Paul Heyman sees the value and sees the talent on these wrestlers, we got great multiple matches, multiple incredible matches. Paul Heyman is doing such a great job, such a great job with SmackDown that he should be in charge on both Raw and SmackDown, and he should have the final say because right now SmackDown is the best WWE show. Okay? It is getting better and better every week. It is getting consistent every single week. And some people are even saying that SmackDown is even better than AEW right now, which is completely justified. Now, in my personal opinion, like I think AEW still has the advantage a little bit in my eyes, but SmackDown is getting up there. And a matter of fact, I enjoy AEW and SmackDown just the same. I enjoy AEW and I enjoy SmackDown. They're literally two of my favorite shows right now. Of course, NXT is still NXT and Raw is fucking terrible. But SmackDown and AEW are doing amazing right now. And like Paul Heyman, like there's no doubt about it. If Paul Heyman is against the wall, if you put Paul Heyman in charge, he turns things into gold. No, scratch that, screw gold. He turns things into platinum. Platinum. Okay, that's how good Paul Heyman is. He should be in charge of everything on both Raw and SmackDown. And he should have the final say of what happens. Okay, not Vince, not Bruce, Paul. Okay, Paul Heyman's a mastermind. And it's probably not gonna happen because Paul Heyman's busy being awesome. But if you ever like stumble upon this video, thank you. Like you are incredible. You are incredible. And it's your intellect and your knowledge of the wrestling business that every show that you touch turn into platinum. And I am very blessed and very grateful that we got someone like you in the wrestling business. You are awesome. You are incredible. I appreciate your hard work, Paul. No negativity, nada. Okay? You shouldn't deserve any negativity because you are a genius. You are amazing. Okay? And that's all I gotta say on that. Paul Heyman, keep doing a great job. You're doing such an incredible job on SmackDown. Such an incredible job. Such an incredible job. But that's all I gotta say on that. Vince should be in charge of creative. Like Bruce should be in charge of creative. If you guys want to say Monday Night Raw, put Paul Heyman in charge and give him full control. Full control. Let him have the final say on what happens on Monday Night Raw. And I promise you, within a month or two, maybe 3 or 4, Raw is going to be just as great as SmackDown because Paul Heyman is a fucking genius and he still has it. He is still an incredible mastermind and he deserves all the love. So, I reckon, this is more like a Paul Heyman appreciation type video. So, if you guys want, after this video ends, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, and if Paul Heyman have any social media account, just go onto his DM and say thank you. appreciate the man. Because again, if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, then WWE, like all the shows would be unwatchable. Unwatchable. But it's because of Paul Heyman that SmackDown is getting more and more exciting every single Friday. Paul Heyman, this is an appreciation video to you. You are doing such an incredible job with SmackDown. You are such an incredible mastermind. And keep up the great work, man. Keep up the great work. And that's all I got to say on that. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys agree that Paul Heyman's doing a great job? Do you guys disagree? And if you do disagree, I want to know why. Okay? And for the people that agree, do not be assholes to the people that disagree in the comment section. Okay? Because in my channel, this is an opinion judging free zone. Okay? But that's all I got to say on that. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, this is Gabriel, and I will see you next time in the asylum.